morning crossing so far. Right off the bat, we've got some giraffe. This is the Maasai giraffe, not the common giraffe that you'd most likely see at Juma with Tristan and Taro this morning. These are the Maasai giraffe and only occur in this particular area. Slightly smaller than the common giraffe that you find down in South Africa, but they do occur in larger herds, and they've got a much more irregular pattern on their coats as well. Much sort of sharper edges. They don't have the blurred edges that you'd find. And then also, the males are not as big. Here's a big male there. And they are busy watching another giraffe on the other side of the river. Let me show you there. These are all males, young males, and that's why they're having the reaction that they are having. Let's see what this other giraffe is busy doing over here. For those of you don't know me, my name is Stefan Tabur, and oh, there was a giraffe there, but there is no more. Looks like he's moved on. Let's go back to our bachelor herd over here. They've obviously come down to the river for a bit of a drink. The chances of them crossing are fairly small, though. Tally-ho, four-legged, 16-headed, four-headed, 16-legged giraffe. It looks like that, hey. That is how their camouflage works. And in a nutshell, that's how zebra camouflage works. That's how leopard camouflage works. What it is, it breaks up the outline. It breaks up the profile of the animal. And that is a very important thing. Giraffe can and do become invisible. And what you're having a look at there on that skin pattern is the irregular light and dark and funny shaped patterns on their coats, absolutely making the edges blurred. This guy is having a look at the camera. I'm not quite sure if he's seeing the camera or if he's seeing something else. I'll be honest with you, these cameras are very well hidden and almost silent. Let's have a look here what's going on there. It gives us a brilliant view of that almost dragon-like neck of a giraffe. Isn't that just fantastic? Now, Rebecca, you wanted to know if crocs ever try and eat giraffe. Rebecca, not that I've seen. I mean, I've never seen a giraffe cross a river, to be quite honest. I don't know if this giraffe is going to attempt crossing a river. They must cross rivers. A river like this, with its rocky bottom and holes in it, I mean, if a giraffe or a wildebeest can't even find footing here, can you imagine what it's going to be like for a giraffe to cross? I would imagine difficult. They can swim. They do cross bodies of water. I've never seen it before. And if we are going to witness something like that now, there's that other giraffe. He's come out of the woodwork now. Other side of the river. I mean, this is dangerous territory for this giraffe, to be quite honest with you, because of the irregular footing. If he slips and falls, the chance of him getting a bit of whiplash and bashing his head onto a rock is very high, and he can do himself a lot of damage that way. They don't have the muscle structures in their necks capable of withstanding sudden and violent movements of the head. And so falling for them is a very big problem. Right, we're going to carry on looking at these giraffe. If they cross here, we'll call you back straight away, of course. And you're going to send you over to Tristan, who's got some out-of-season rain.
No, I've just located him.
Have a look at this. We've got a giraffe sort of ankle deep, which is to you and I knee deep in the Mara River at the moment. We don't know if he's going to cross. I've never seen this behavior before. This is the first time I've seen it. It's the first time I've even seen a picture of a giraffe in this much water. Usually you just see them drinking. They must cross the river. I don't know anyone that's ever seen it before, but then we've only been in Kenya and I've only been around these types of rivers in a very short time. And let's see what's going on. They don't look scared of going into the water whatsoever. I mean, they don't look like they're tentatively sort of testing the depth. They don't look if they're too worried about any rocks. It's a difficult thing, to try and judge what's going to go on here. What are they going to do? I mean, if a giraffe falls and gets swept away by the current, how easy is it to keep their head up above the water? Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to find their footing? If they do, is the bank going to be climbable for them because they have such a high, small center of gravity? They run a massive risk crossing these rivers, and there's absolutely no need for it. There's just as many trees on this side of the river as they are on that side of the river. And they don't eat grass, and they don't be in competition with wildebeest. Now, Shamsung, you wanted to know if they actually swim across the river. I would assume so, Shamsung. Quite simply is that giraffe can swim. The only things that can't swim are white rhinoceros and a pangolin. And that is because their neck articulation doesn't allow them to lift their nose above horizontal. And so for them to get their noses out of the water is a difficult thing. But giraffe can certainly swim. And I think we are going to be seeing a swimming giraffe right now. This is definitely a first for me, everybody. And I mean, we're talking about 19 years of watching wildlife on a proper scale. And what we're seeing here is some Maasai giraffe crossing the Mara River in Kenya. Alrighty, welcome to this Facebook Live and Safari Live broadcast. Basically, what we've got here is one of the first things I've ever seen in my life, and that is some giraffe crossing the Mara River. This is in Kenya, of course, in the Mara Triangle Game Reserve, and what we've got here is 4 male Maasai giraffe standing just above ankle deep in the Mara River. Now, the reason why they're standing in the water and going across to the other side, or trying to go across to the other side, is because there's another male giraffe on that side of the river. And this is a first for me, everybody. This is in 19 years of field guiding and being part of these types of environments. I've never seen giraffe attempt a river crossing before. Just have a look at this. There is no reason why these giraffes should be going across. There's just as many trees on this side of the bank as there are on the others. Massive risk for these giraffes. They've got a very small, high center of gravity, not a lot of musculature in their neck. If they fall, they can quite easily bash their head on a rock. To keep their heads above the water is going to require massive effort, finding their feet, and of course, will the bank that they end up at be climbable? It's such a difficult thing to judge. Like I said, never seen this before. This is the first time I've ever seen giraffe attempt to cross a water body. Can they swim? Yes, of course they can swim. Do they swim? They must do. I mean, in these areas, how else did they get into parts of Africa? They must have swum across water bodies. Look at this, everyone. Lead giraffe, the tallest, biggest, oldest of all of them, going through first. Is he going to fall? Is he going to trip on a rock? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I just don't understand. There's just no reason. Now that's probably waist deep for you and I. We can walk full length underneath the giraffe's tummy. So there by his front legs, we'd be able to walk underneath that without touching our head. That's how big these giraffes are. Look at this youngster, still trying to have a game. This is really, really amazing. See, a little tail coming up over there, a little bit of dung coming out. Louis, the trees are really greener on the other side. You're absolutely right there, Louis. That is the only, I don't know why these giraffes are going out. It is just a massive risk. It's too much for me. I'd never do it if I was this giraffe. You can see that back leg splayed of that front giraffe, that quite wide open front leg, is nervous. He wants to go. He's now halfway across. Giraffes aren't the most clever things on the face of the planet. I'm almost sure that these giraffes are committed. But the current is strong. It's been raining here a lot. David said they're probably crossing on a double dare. You know,